Don't think you wanna know just where I've been. No, don't be distracted. The one I need is right in my arms. Your kisses taste the sweetest with mine. And
And peace, everybody. It's your boy Dre from OG Reacts, and we are here today to check out another XG video slash song slash whatever you want to call this. This is VOX #1, featuring Juria and Chisa doing Peaches. I don't know what that means, what song that is, but they're doing Peaches. And what I've decided to do, so two things. One is you might notice that the scenery has changed a little bit. What I realized is that my work life and my professional my reaction life was not meshing as well as I would have liked it. And so I decided to change things around just to be more comfortable in the lab. And so the new setup is still a trial by error. Like, I don't know what this is going to look like post recording and me editing it. And so hopefully it looks good. Your feedback would be appreciated. Basically, I've decided I'm going to take this reaction stuff a little bit more serious. And so I wanted to set up the space so that I could comfortably transition back and forth from, you know, the work that I have to do with the work that I'm beginning to enjoy doing. That's one thing. Second thing is what I decided to do is I'm gonna approach the VOX's moves and tapes chronologically, just so I'm transitioning and learning as they're evolving in this stuff. I also have been hearing the comments about the docuseries about them, and I plan on trying to sit down and watch it. I may be even doing like a live stream while I watch it, so anybody that wants to join or hasn't watched it or wants to watch it alongside and kind of, you know, experience it as I'm experiencing it. I thought that would be pretty dope. So if anybody would be interested in it, say yay or nay. You don't even actually say. I'm gonna try it and then see if there's people who are interested. If it works, it doesn't. If not, I'll just crap it. But anyway, so that's that, right? So now that is one thing. I got a little bit of a soapbox to get on before we go to the video. And again, I apologize, but it's in me to talk about it, and so you can absolutely skip. I'm gonna put a timestamp so you can skip right to the reaction, so you don't have to be on this thing that I'm on. But I felt it necessary. Anytime I feel it necessary to be on the soapbox, I get on, right? And so hopefully it doesn't bother folks too much, and if it does, so what? So anyway, so yesterday got a notification that the new album, or the little mini album, was out of XG's. And so you know, people had kind of been preparing me for it, and I was like, you know, if it's the same songs, I'll give it, you know, I'll listen to it just because I've heard everything, and so it's not much to react to new. I gave it a listen. I was laying in bed yesterday morning, and I just decided to go through the songs on my phone. And so in listening to the album, I realized that they're taking a very different approach to what they've taken. And, you know, I can appreciate experimentation. I can appreciate trying to do new things, expand audience, all that stuff. Like, the bottom line is that this stuff that they're doing has to make sense financially. Whomever is their producer or director, he has bosses, and that's where the money is. And they are investing a ton of money in XG. a ton. Those videos, those clothes, that makeup. I hear that they've been on a world tour, and not being an established group going on a world tour is expensive. Trust me, it is expensive. And so this is an investment that they are expecting a return on. So I can appreciate wanting to broaden their horizons. But I will say this about the album. I hated it. Every single song I hated. And they were all songs that I love. That was a tough pill to swallow, that there was not one song that was tolerable for me. Now, I know that I am different than other folks. And it made me think about you guys as far as fans and lovers of XG, because I oftentimes think, just in reading comments, that alphas or whomever that are fans of XG can't really appreciate the role that they play in XG's existence. Because in most cases, when you talk to most alphas or XG fans, everything is good, everybody is great, everybody does everything incredible, everything is perfect, everything is exceptional, everything is everything. For me, that's not the case with anything or anybody, right? That's just not how I operate, right? I operate always with a level of honesty and truthfulness. And that's not to say that theirs is not truthfulness. I think oftentimes fandom gets in the way of honesty, right? And here's where the problem is, I think. As XG is evolving, what is going to help them and whomever is managing them, what's going to help them is people being honest about what they're experiencing when they experience XG, right? Like what works for them and what doesn't work for them. And that's really why I pose some of the questions that I do in the polls or whatever, is because I want people to think a little bit more critically about this group. In part because I want them to succeed. I want them to be everything that they can be and more. And I am a firm believer that the best way that I demonstrate my love for anybody or caring for anybody is honesty. Like, that is my way of demonstrating love. I think it is bad for you to treat people with kid gloves or lie to them about what's really going on or what your perspective is in relationship to what they're doing, because they don't realize that what they're doing doesn't necessarily work. And when you have a fandom, the numbers really are going to be able to decide kind of the direction of the group. You decide, like, you are a part of the decision. You help shape XG. I think what they're going to struggle with is figuring out who they are at their core. Because with this album, it made me question, or who do they want them to be? In my history of listening to music, loving artists, experience and seeing incredible talent, what has always shaped people's success is finding who their core audience is and serving them everything that they need and want and enjoy, and building from that. But you gotta have that core audience, and that core audience generally needs something. And again, like, I'm sure that they're basing their decisions on numbers, and I just know that in my experience, I've seen plenty come and go. And generally the ones that go fast are the ones that don't have a core audience. They're trying to please everybody and don't have a core, and therefore their core can't grow with them. A la Beyonce. Beyonce could have never done a country album in the early 2000s. She couldn't have. She had to build her core audience. Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson could have never done Thriller without Off the Wall. He could have never done Thriller without Off the Wall. And Off the Wall was a very much urban, soul, disco album. It was. Thriller brought it to the masses, but Off the Wall was a very different album. A better album, in my opinion, almost. But I'm sure you could point to any artist historically having to have built a core base and then broadened out from that. Now, again, I'm no music professional, so I don't study the numbers like that. I know all of my stuff is based upon feeling, but also wisdom. I've seen shit over the last 51 years that I think applies. And it's really kind of up to them to really decide who they're really trying to serve, because I think that's going to be a question. Because if they try to serve everybody, it's almost I forget the same saying, but it's if you try to please everybody, you end up pleasing no one, and that's what I'm scared of and nervous about based upon this album. Now, maybe this is a shot in the pan, but unfortunately, it has XG's name on it, and it's on all the music streaming services. And so ultimately, people who get introduced to XG for the first time, they're going to be experiencing that. And I know the people that I talk to, first and foremost, the people that I talk to, they don't know XG. Not one single person that I've talked to and consistently over the last month. If you're going to talk to Dre, you are going to have a conversation about XG. And not one single person has known who XG was. So that means that they're still obscure. They're still relatively, new in the game. To have this album come out and somebody listen to it for the first time, if I heard this, if I was, again, I say this about like Mascara or Tippy Toes or TGIF. If that was my first introduction, similar to if this album, I popped in somebody's car and they were playing XG and they were playing this album, I would have no interest in listening to XG anymore. They'd have to, and literally, like, even if I heard like Left Right, I would say, well, I heard that other shit that they was doing, so I don't really know who they are. I'm basing my love, my interest, and even what I'm doing on YouTube, I'm basing it on who I know XG as of now. And that is based upon Left Right, that is based upon Howling, that is based upon In the Rain, that is based upon Is This Love, that is based upon Something Ain't Right. That's what I'm basing my Winter Without You. Like, that's what took me and pulled me in. So I'm a little bit concerned about it just because, again, I didn't like anything on it. I'm hoping that this is not the direction that they're going in. I hope that it's them trying to serve a population or get into areas that people will be dancing and partying or whatever. But they are going to lose some people because of this. If their goal is attracting an urban population to celebrate them outside of their borders, at least here, that shit ain't gonna work. And I can tell you, in my humble opinion, the black opinion around music and what's good and what works and what becomes popular generally is not necessarily what sells. It is what is cool. It is what is dope. It's what is people should pay attention to. You better have that urban ear. You better have that urban ear, especially if you're trying to do urban music or you are going to look like an outsider. And that's what I'm scared of. That's what I'm nervous about with XG. That's my soapbox. I don't want to get into it too much. Tell me what you think about the new album. I can't remember what it's called, but it's basically a dance album, right? That feels like all the soul was stripped out of their music and them in the name of getting people to dance. And trust me, I was dancing. Anyway, on to our reaction of VOX 1, Juria and Chisa doing their thing, Peaches. Let's see what they got, see if it's OG approved.
I got my peaches out in Georgia. I like the trees in California. I took my man up to the north, yeah.
Jeez, that's Juria, right? She looks like she's about 12. Jeez, I mean, I'm sure she's probably older than 12 in this video, but she looks really, really young. When was this done? This was 2 years ago. So Juria, I think Juria's in her 20s, and so this can't be 18, 19. Like, she looks way younger. If she is, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but she just looks younger, and she sounds good so far. Here we go.
I got my peaches out in Georgia. I like the trees in California. I took my man up to the north, yeah. I get my labor from the source, yeah. Oh, say, oh, it's the way I breathe you in.
Chisa, right?
It's the texture of your skin. I wanna wrap my arms around you, babe. Never let you go. And I say, oh, there's nothing like your touch. It's the way you lift me up. Yeah, and I'll be right here with you. I got my peaches out in Georgia. Oh yeah, shit. I like the trees in California. That's that shit. I took my man up to the north. I'm a badass bitch. I get my light right from the source. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so part of the reason why I love XG, because I am an urban music listener. I will catch some songs outside of that genre occasionally that I enjoy. I listen to what I enjoy listening to, whether it's hip hop, R&B, soul, Afro beats, and some reggaeton. But the unfortunate reality is that urban music has turned into this kind of vulgar, twerky, just not entertaining as, you know, for me. I'm sure if you're younger, that's something that may float your boat. But for me, it's just not my thing. And it's not my thing in large part because I'm exhausted from it. Not necessarily because I'm some kind of prude. And so it's not that. It's more just, it's old and corny to me. Ultimately, urban music has been more and more harder to listen to and watch. I don't know if you've even seen the new Bruno Mars video and song. So I'm, doing my thing on YouTube and he pops up. So I said, oh, new song by Bruno Mars and Sexy Red, who I there's probably no artist that I dislike more than Sexy Red. And I think she's an industry plant, and we could talk about that, but I think she's a plant. But unfortunately, the song pops up, and so I give it a shot. I can't remember the name. It's like Fat, Juicy, and Wet, I think it's called. It's coming from somebody who I respected their artistry before. Like, I liked Bruno Mars in large part because he was an artist. He could sing, he played instruments, he was vocally dope, and he had good quality music and verses and lyrics and stuff like that. And so I like Bruno Mars. This is trash, right? It is not who I like. And again, I'm not trying to make it about me because, I am one person and my shit is only an opinion. But part of the reason why I enjoy XG is because it's my escape from that. It's my ability to enjoy talent that it's solely about their talent. And it's not about shaking their ass or what they're, or being vulgar or anything like that. And so when I hear them say bitch in the song, even though I know it's a cover of another song, I get all like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Just because I don't want them even close what they're doing over there or over here for that matter. Because I was watching the video and then I was reading some of the comments, and one of the K-pop girls, I think her name is Rose or something like that, is in the video along with Lady Gaga. Not performing, they're just kind of playing around in the video. And so I don't know what Rose is. I hear she's pretty popular. I don't know who she is. I hear she's pretty popular and she's getting close to the dysfunction, because that's the dysfunction. I hope that we, as far as XG goes, stays as far away from that as we possibly can. But so far, so good. I'm loving the song. I'm loving the voice. I got to listen to it some more just because I'm thinking too much instead of listening.
I'll be right here with you. I got my peaches out in Georgia. Oh yeah, shit. I like the trees in California. That's that shit. I turn my man up to the north. I'm a badass bitch. I get my light right from the source. Yeah, yeah. Ooh, you enjoy it, but I'm for you. All I can want, all I can wish for. Nights alone that we miss more. Days we save souvenirs. There's no time, I wanna make more time and give you my whole life. I left my boy, I'm in my Yorker. Hate to leave and call it torture. Remember when I couldn't hold you? Lift your baggage for me more. Yeah, 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 yeah. Got my peaches out in Georgia. Oh yeah, shit. I like the trees in California. This that shit. I turn my man up to the north. I'm a badass.
I did a poll a couple weeks ago about who people thought the best singer was in XG, and Chisa got the majority of the votes. I'll put the results right here or right there, right? Chisa got a majority of the votes, and then I think Juria was second. When I listen to these two, I think my preference is, as far as singing goes, is Juria, right? And maybe it's this song I gotta listen to. I don't think I'm as I pay as much attention to them in some of their other songs, but I'm definitely paying attention to it now. But I know that Juria tends to be a standout for me when she's singing in in Left Right. She's a standout, particularly when she does that little like piece where in slow motion she kind of comes to the front, then she walks off in slow motion, but she hits that whatever, right? But yeah, so I actually think right now I prefer Juria over Chisa as far as singing goes. Now again, my opinions change with every single video and song that I hear for the most part. I remember, like, I recently did In the Rain and Is This Love? And Is This Love grabbed a hold of my throat, right? And loved it. And at the time, said it was better than Left Right. It's not better than Left Right. It's dope. And it might be my second favorite, but Left Right still holds the stamp as far as OG goes, right? And you know, it's oftentimes because I'm in the moment and I just kind of speak what I feel and what the girls are giving me, and so my opinion may change again. But generally speaking, I have paid more attention to Juria and her singing, and even her like her singing swag, right? Like she's developing a singing swag as I watch her as well. And so I know I throw that swag shit out a lot, but I see it and feel it and can only kind of point it out when I see it. So Juria is dope, and she sounds great here. Both of them sound great.
Got my peaches out in Georgia, oh yeah shit. I like the trees in California, that's that shit. I turn my man up to the north, I'm a badass bitch. I get my light right from the source, yeah, yeah. I get the feeling so I'm sure, hand in hand because I'm yours. I can't pretend, I can't ignore. You're right from me. Don't think you wanna know just where I've been, no. Don't be distracted. Wanna need this right in my arms. Your kisses taste the sweetest with mine, and I'll be right here with you to the end. I got my peaches out in Georgia, oh yeah shit. I like the trees in California, that's that shit. I took my man up to the north, I'm a badass bitch. I get my light right from the source, yeah, yeah. I got my peaches out in Georgia, oh yeah shit. I like the trees in California, that's that shit. I took my man up to the north, I'm a badass bitch. I get my light right from the source, yeah, yeah. I get my peaches out in Georgia. I like the trees in California. I get my peaches out in Georgia. I like the trees in California, yeah. I wanna wrap my arms around you, baby, never let you go.
Okay. Juria and Chisa did that shit right there. They did it. It was cute, right? And it was based upon just how they look, and probably even the time that they were executing this. It was perfect, right? It was a pure display of their singing. I know that with videos they are, tweaking the vocals or whatever, but for the most part, beautiful song. And just based upon kind of their youthfulness and realizing kind of how much they've been working, like they are going to be songstresses, right? Because they're working that singing muscle. They're getting more and more control over how they sing, how they manipulate their vocals, for lack of a better term. And so that's really exciting based upon what is to come, right? Like this next iteration of XG, like when they get off tour and they start working on the next EP or album or whatever, I'm sure that everybody is they're going to have higher expectations for the girls, which means that they're going to have to flex a little bit more in all areas, whether it's they're singing, they're dancing, or they're rapping, or whatever else they might do. I wouldn't be surprised if they came out with trumpets and guitars and a piano. So that was dope. That was VOX number 1, Peaches, Juria and Chisa. I loved it. Again, a lot of talking in this one, and that's just who I am. You know what I mean? Love me or hate me, that's who OG is. Thank you, everybody, for listening, spending some time with me. I appreciate you guys so much. I want to tell all the alphas out there, all the XG lovers, all the people that have been in my comments, y'all have been amazing. I've loved spending time and reading some of the stuff that you guys have written. I read everything for the most part. I don't respond just because it's a lot, but I do. I respond when when I move to, but I read everything, and so I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your time, and I hope you are well. Until next time, it's your OG signing out. Peace.